Yo, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Tree Life J, and I know y'all looking at y'all screens like, wait a minute, is this brother recording from his phone? Is this brother on Pokemon Showdown? What the fuck is this group of mods that I'm looking at? What the hell is league time? I'm finna explain. Don't worry. So my people, like my 5 people that are subscribed to me, I know this is different from what I usually upload onto my channel, which is just like PlayStation clips, old PlayStation clips from playing Brawlhalla or crap like that. But your boy's trying something new. I kind of want to get a good little head start into this YouTubing thing, and I figured, why not try this? So let me explain what is about to happen. So right now, what you're looking at is the roster for my team. Kick name, Take Ass. Yes, that is the name. Don't ask why I came up with it. Of course, if you get the reference, kudos to you. But that is this team. This is the team that I will be sporting in the new Pokemon Draft League I just joined. Now, I say new, but I personally played in Draft League Pokemon Draft League since they started. And I've definitely got tons of experience, especially playing with this particular league called the Creatively Named League. Excuse me for that. Also, no edits over here. This is all straight, just off the dome. So you're getting real deal Tree Life J. But creatively named league, owned by my buddy Talvaca. I'm not sure if he owns it. I do. He's like one of the big time commissioners in this group. And a lot of it had, got my old buddies that I, first started out doing draft leagues with. And we've been doing this stuff for years. But I wanted to record this stuff last year. I wanted to do something for my team last season. I'm sorry. I just wasn't in the right headspace. Couldn't really get to it. But now things are a little bit different, and I want to try and show off a little something. So for those of you who don't know, let me go ahead and do a little quick dive into what this is. And forgive me if I ramble. I will try to make this video as short as possible, but I do ramble, so just bear with me. So, Pokemon Draft Leagues. If you're familiar with sports, you'll kind of get the concept, but essentially a group of players or coaches, as we like to say. It can be anywhere from like around 10 to 16 coaches, doesn't matter. These coaches all get together and we take turns drafting mons in a snake style format. So where, the first person goes, drafts their mon, and we go all the way down to 16. Whoever was at 16, they end up going first for the next round. And bear with me if my phone starts to dim out and whatnot. I'm not paying attention. I will do my best to try and make sure I keep the screen active. But anywho, we take turns drafting mons until we draft a team of 10 to 12 mons. This is a point-based style draft, and the tier that we are in is National Dex UU Ubers, which allows the use of a lot of sort of broken mons, here to say, in the meta game. So without, and then of course, after the draft concludes, players take turn, or pretty much over the next 8 weeks, we'll take turns battling each other, putting our best team of 6 together to try and see who can prevail. And of course, at the end of the 8 weeks, whoever has the top 8 records will compete in the playoffs for a chance to win the championship. So that's the quick rundown of how that works for those of you that didn't know, because I know there's a lot of people that are subscribed that don't know nothing about this stuff. So I just wanted to give you a little breakdown. If you want a better breakdown, I encourage you to go just type in Pokemon Draft Leagues on YouTube and look up just anybody, prominent names like Pokeaim MD, Nexus, A-Drive. There's a bunch of people out there that do this stuff, whether it's big time leagues. People do this stuff playing on the Switch. As you can see, some people do this stuff on Pokemon Showdown. It's just a lot that goes into this stuff, and it's really fun. It's a fun way of playing competitive Pokemon. It's personally my favorite way of playing competitive Pokemon. And yeah, so let me go ahead and start getting into the team. So your boy, we were in a pool of 14 coaches, and I ended up getting the 12th pick, which I felt like sucked. But for me, I don't like having the pressure of being like early in the draft, because I don't want to be nerve wracked, because I mean, yeah, you have the option to pick whatever, but it's like you have the option to pick whatever. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell am I going to pick? So I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do going into this draft, but like, I kind of wanted to just grab things that were just like cool box legendaries that if they were like they were viable or usable, I would use them. And of course, being the 12th pick, I wasn't gonna have a shot at that. So after 11 picks went by, uh, after looking around, scoping the scene, there were a lot of good mons. There's actually still a lot of good mons left from the draft that, we'll dive into that another time. But I wanted to try something different. I wanted to try a mon that I rarely use, honestly, and just try something that's, something different. So as you can see, we went with my first pick, Botan the Flutter Man. Now I do like nicknaming my mons because I just think it just develops a little cool. I don't want to say interpersonal relationship, but it just kind of allows you to bond with it a little bit. So first mon we got was Flutter Man, and Flutter Man is easily one of the best fairy types out there. And also another thing, in this, for some people that do know, yes, terrestrialization is allowed. However, of course, terrestrialization is only allowed on mons that are points, I believe, 11 or lower. I could be wrong about that, maybe 10 or lower, but I think it's 11 or lower. And of course, you can't terra something like this in the draft league, otherwise it'd be too broken. But Fluttermane is an absolute beast of a mon. I wanted a really good fairy type. I wanted something fast, something that could be a great revenge killer / wall breaker if I needed to be. Photosynthesis. Well, it's not a great ability. It's a good ability for this mon because when Sunny Day is active or it's running a booster energy, it boosts its highest stat. That's highest base stat. And as you can see over here, sorry, I'm gonna have to keep trying to keep track of this as far as like making sure the screen doesn't go dim and having to zoom out here and there. But you know what? Like I said, y'all are getting all real, all natural. And I'm sorry, I'm already rambling. I know it's like we're already like feel like 10 minutes into this. I haven't just gotten to the first mon. But as you can see, special attack, special defense, speed, all at base 135, absolutely amazing. And of course, when all those are maxed out, as you can see, the speed maxed out, it reaches at 405. Again, really great fast mon. Being a ghost type, it allows me to have a spin blocker, block rapid spin in case when I set up hazards, I don't want that getting removed. And boom, I could block anybody try to rapid spin on me. So really, that's kind of, it why I got that. So of course, Will Pick comes back and I'm thinking, okay, what's a good mon as I can pair with this? And next up, I grab Kaido, the Gouging Fire. I wanted to name this thing Akainu, but you know what? Just because he's a dragon, I kind of just said, you know what, let it slide. But if anybody has name recommendations, because I don't think I named everything. A lot of this is going to be One Piece based, as you'll see on the I forget what the thing is called. I want to call it a title screen. What is that thing called? The thumbnail. The thumbnail is going to be a One Piece reference, and it's going to be a funny Photoshop. I hope y'all like it. But yeah, a lot of the One Piece name stuff outside of Fluttermane, of course, because if Botan is obviously Yu Yu Hakusho. But yeah, Kaido, Gouging Fire is a great wall breaker to add on side of Fluttermane. It's a great physical attacker. Allows it kind of opens up things for Fluttermane and taking down physical walls or special walls that don't want to run as much defense on the physical defense side. And so it kind of just allows like these two, anytime they're brought in the sun, just know you're going to have a bad time. But the great thing about it, the thing I love about Gouging Fire is that it's not always going to be like a super like strong attacker. Like, yeah, of course you got a move sets where, you got things like Dragon Dance, but you can be defensive too. We got Morning Sun, you got Burning Bulwark, which is basically like protect, but with extra adage of where if the person contacts you, you get burned. And I love that because, that just means Gouging Fire gets to stay in the game a lot much longer, and it also gets access to Morning Sun, which of course Under the Sun allows me to pretty much like get 75% HP back. I think is that what it says? Heals the user by, well, whatever, 50, 75%, whatever the hell, who cares? Gouging Fire is here in the sun, it'll be here to stay. So as you can see, it's kind of already, if you already didn't see I know you saw the team, but I pretty much drafted a Sun team. And when I first drafted these two mons, I was like so mad because I was like, dude, Sun teams are so fucking cheap. They're just cheap as hell. And I'm like, I didn't want to draft that. But I kind of came around to the idea, especially after seeing that, I'm gonna get the best out of my mons, my first two mons by having Sun. However, as I go throughout the draft, I'm just, if I keep making the point, I apologize, but I wanted to make it a point of emphasis to have a draft that cannot. It's basically where Sun can be an option, where I don't have to always rely on bringing the Sun to win games. I feel like, and that's probably the best thing about these mons, especially when you have ability like photosynthesis, where you can run booster energy to kind of get that boost, even though it's going to be one time boost. You don't need the Sun all the time. They can operate outside of the Sun just as well as they do in it. And I really tried to key in on that. But moving further, we got Turkass. And if you know where that reference is from, I love you. Just know I love you. I will not tell you where it's from. I honestly, I kid you not, I was looking at what I wanted to name this, and I was watching the movie where this was referenced, and I said, you know what? This is the name. So we got Celesteela here. We got an Ultra Beast. And for those of you who don't know, got Beast Boost as an ability anytime, or basically anytime this mon KOs something, it boosts its highest stat by 1 and starts going. So of course, that with Celesteela having balanced stats all around, this can turn it into a very potent sweeper. And sometimes, depending on the games, can make it a really tough wall to break. Because if I'm running like plus defense or plus special defense boosting natures, who's breaking that? So as you can see, for those of you that know, I pretty much rounded out my core of fairy, dragon, steel types. And for a little explanation on that, for cores, and forgive me if I'm explaining a lot. I'm speaking from a term, or I'm speaking from a position of where a lot of the people that, or I say a lot, but like I said, I have 5 subscribers. I know I'm going to share this to people who play Pokemon, but for the people that don't know, I just want to give explanations so they know what I'm talking about. But cores in Pokemon basically are just a group of mons whose typings all benefit from one another, whether it's defensively or offensively. Fairies, Dragon, Steel is great. Is a great thing to have, because when you got, of course, fairy types are probably like one of the best types in the game, along with dragon types as well. Got fairy types to check dragon types, so dragon types aren't bouncing on my gouging fire. The same for steel types. They kind of help block out dragon types for dragons and fairies for dragon types, while simultaneously dealing with other steel types for fairy types. So like, just kind of, when I mention cores and stuff, just know that they're basically just playing off typing. So already I have a pretty good decent core, just to start off the draft. And as I pivot to the next pick, I wanted to kind of get rid of the ground weakness. Not necessarily like a ground weakness, but like this team is sort of like looking at these first 3: Edgequake, basically any mon, which is the combination of Earthquake and Stone Edge, or ground and rock type moves, can kind of mess up this team. So I went ahead and grabbed Wapple the Quagsire. Great defensive mon, has Unaware, gives me hazards. Water Absorb is really great, and this is also one of my Terra captains. And for this league in particular, it's Terra Preview, and you can run any Terra on it. So I'm not designated with any Terra, which is great, because a lot of times I feel is when you're picking Terra captains and you limit them to like specific types, it kind of limits how you build these defensive teams around these mons. But with the ability to run any Terra, Quagsire can just be a wall for against so many different teams. Like, y'all don't understand. And again, I apologize for not like zooming in and out the screen when I need to. But real simple. There's nothing more to explain. Quagsire is just here to wall, set up hazards, and keep folks from setting up on me and sweeping. So next up, as you can see, we have to grab a chlorophyll mon to take advantage of the Sun. And by this time, everybody kind of could see. I can kind of see that nobody else was drafting weather onto their teams. So I know most people were kind of like, oh, well, you need to make sure you grab this mon so that way nobody snipes it. And I was like, dude, I'm like not worried at all. I know I'm probably I drafted the only weather team, and I was the only guy even thinking about running Sun. So there's that. But we got Viola the Lilligant, Hisuian Lilligant. Gives me a really strong fighting type to break down dark types that might trouble Flutter Mane, at least from the defensive side. I'm not saying this is going to come in and take hits from any dark types or anything like that, but it does help out. It does help out Flutter Mane and Gouging Fire by being able to use its offensive prowess to deal with bulky mons. Lilligant gets access to Swords Dance, victory dance, all these different ways of boosting my attack stats. And then on top of that, we have an ability in chlorophyll, which activates in the sun, doubling my speed, allowing me to be a setup sweeper or revenge killer whenever needed, and just make basically like this team is going to hit you hard. This team is gonna hit you in the face, and if I bring the sun, just be prepared. For all my opponents, just be prepared. I'm coming with the heat, literally. Okay. But also other notable abilities. Again, I wanted to make sure I had a team that can function outside of sun. Having the ability to hustle. It's not the best ability. I would love to be able to land my attacks, and as unlucky as I can be in Pokemon, as you will find out this season, I am guaranteeing that I will get hacks majority of the time. Now, I know I might be jinxing myself, but at the same time, I've been playing this game forever. I know how Mons is. I know how it goes. I'm gonna get hacks. It's gonna be some bull crap. So y'all gonna have to bear with me on that. But I'm not doing too much dive into the stats and stuff. Just because I know most people, you can kind of just see the stats. But again, another good physical attacker. And just wanted something to just, like I said, just be like I don't want to, like, it's basically another sweeper in a sense in the sun. So next, moving on, we got Magellan, the Skuntank. Here, I was just looking to grab a grounded poison type, so that way it can absorb toxic spikes, as well as grabbing a defogger. Now, I watched a draft analysis by my buddy Tal Vaca, and I'll leave a link to his channel and other folks' channels who are in this league, just to help promote them as well. But he did a draft analysis, and for the life of me, I could not understand why him and his buddy were just kind of like fumbled over this pick. And I'm like, I don't think it's a bad pick. It's a good grounded poison. Now, aggressive, were there better grounded poison types, especially poison dark types? Yes, but Alolan Muck and Drapion, the two other poison dark types that are available, don't learn defog. And if I knew I was going to draft Torkoal, and I don't want Torkoal being my only way of hazard removal, because a lot of times I want Torkoal to run like Heat Rock if I'm ever going to bring it, or leftovers. That way I don't have to worry about running heavy duty boots to prevent hazards and stuff like that. So I wanted a Mon that could at least, at the very, very least, do that in multiple ways. And Skuntank does that. It can defog to get rid of hazards and screens, and also it being a grounded poison type, it can absorb toxic spikes on switch-ins and whatnot. And of course, it has a lot of other great utility too. Haze to kind of stop people from setting up on me. Pursuit, which is allowed. Pursuit is allowed in this league. Unfortunately, Hidden Power isn't, which makes me sad, because one of the mons I drafted kind of gets limited all of a sudden because of that. But we're gonna ball either way. And you never know. Also, it has great utility in Toxic, but you never know. I could run Trailblaze. I could run Home Claws. Like, there's a lot. And the fun thing about draft, it allows for a lot of creativity. You don't always have to bring the same stuff you would see on like regular Pokemon Showdown teams, like just the generic stuff. You can switch it up, because the opponent has to plan for your team, your best group of 6. And they may think, okay, he might bring this one set, but if you bring a set that's completely unorthodox, it might just be the thing that catches them off guard and might give you the win. So I try to keep that in mind a lot. Forgive me for stuttering. Yeah, for stuttering. God damn it. God, I can't talk. But yeah, I just want to be able to have a versatile team at the end of the day, more than anything. And that's why this isn't like your super generic Sun team. Like, most Sun teams would be a way better constructed than this. This is kind of like a pseudo Sun team. Like, it can run Sun, but it doesn't have to run Sun. And as you'll see when I get into these next few months, that I expand on that idea a whole lot more. So moving on, we got Akainu, the Torkoal. Now, I feel like this is a better name. I feel like this was better for Akainu, or a better way to, better Mon I want to name Akainu, just because, I just, like, literally, when I think of Akainu, I'm thinking of a volcano erupting, and is that not Torkoal? Like, does Torkoal not erupt? Like, he literally has eruption in his moveset. Like, is that not Torkoal? I know most people are like, oh, well, why not name him Ace? Ace died. I do not want my Torkoal dying. I do not want to. No, I'm not gonna do that. So, yeah. But there's no need further need to explain. Torkoal is here to set up the sun. Of course, it's got a great move pool to just expand upon. Of course, you can run offensive sets, which I think I'll have the liberty to, thanks to the next 2 mons. You can run things like eruption, overheat, and of course, the usual rapid spin, the rocks, body press, and all that fun jazz. Hey, you never know. I don't know if I'll be able to run it, but I'll try to see if I can maybe run a shell smash Torkoal. I don't think it's gonna happen because there's already so much offensive firepower on the team that I don't think that's needed. But we'll figure something out. I'll try my best to be as creative as possible throughout this season. So moving forward, I don't want to make this too long. I already feel like I've been talking forever, and I really don't have too long. But we got Kadu, the Porygon 2. With this pick, I just wanted, with these next two picks actually, I kind of wanted to start building up a decent like wall core. Yeah, I have Celesteela. Yeah, I have Quagsire. And Skuntank to some extent can be defensive, but it's not like the best defensive mon out there. But I kind of needed something else, especially with reliable recovery. Seeing as Quagsire was the only one that had that and is already having a lot of pressure, defensive pressure being put on it, or pressure in general being put on it as a defensive backbone. I want to take some pressure off from that and drafted Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is a great normal type to have. Of course, it takes, absorbs Shadow Ball, so I don't have to worry about, people spamming ghost moves into me, trying to catch my Flutter Mane and all that. I now have a good normal type to balance that out. Really good defensive mon, offers great utility. And one of the things I love about this is that it has Trick Room. And as you can see, my team is not the fastest. It's going to have some fast mons, as you'll see towards the end, but it's not like super overly fast. And I can most weeks, not most weeks, but like some weeks I can afford to run Trick Room and run a slower team to kind of counter any speed my opponent brings. And just basically flip the tables on folks. But yeah, really good mon, really good defensive mon, offers me a great ability in trace, being able to, excuse me, trace any ability mon in front of me, which is going to be always helpful. Excuse me. And other good abilities, analytic. Nobody's going to run download ever, because why? I can run analytic in case I am running like a Trick Room set, and I just decide to run like a really strong special attacking Porygon 2. You never know, folks. I try, you gotta be creative in this stuff. I've seen people run some crazy stuff in draft leagues, trust me. So we are almost done with this. We got 3 more mons to cover. Next up, we got Reuniclus. And now I think the last 3 I did not name yet. So if y'all have any ideas for names, let me know. I was thinking about naming this thing Kuma just because of the little like dots that go into Reuniclus's hands, kind of remind me of Kuma's paws, but I'm like, I don't think that's a good name. So if y'all have any good name options out there, I will gladly take them and consider them from my team. But here we got Reuniclus. Just wanted a sort of defensive mon to pair with Porygon that also can click Trick Room, and I feel like this is a great option. Also with Reuniclus, this is a great pivot for me, especially for this team. I feel like this team is lacking like a lot of defensive pivots, and Reuniclus is perfect because it has great abilities in Magic Guard and Regenerator. Magic Guard basically keeps me from taking any damage outside of moves. So Stealth Rock, Spikes, Toxic, Life Orb, you name it, whatever. If it's not an attacking move, I am not taking damage from it. So this thing can switch into Toxic, Will-O-Wisp, and all that stuff, status move, to kind of keep everybody healthy and safe and not have to worry about, getting status on one of my mons that I don't want status. And then it also has Regenerator, which is it's lesser used ability, but it's still pretty good, especially in draft. Regenerator is so good in draft, especially when you need mons to kind of just come in, take a hit, and then like just switch out to get that health back. Especially when you're running like a really, really defensive team like I am. Like, it's not super defensive, but it can be defensive. Like, it's a balanced team in general. But I have a lot of really bulky mons where I can afford to run things like Rocky Helmet or mons that have like Toxic and stuff. Because this is National Deck, so a lot of mons do have Toxic, now. And being able to use Reuniclus to kind of just switch in and out and keep itself healthy while the other team is wearing themselves down with other, damaging effects is really great. And of course, for those of you who know, Reuniclus could just be a great setup sweeper when we need it. Acid Armor Calm mindsets are the first thing that come to mind. Just being able to use that and use store power to set up on mons. It also has great utility in knockoff, being able to get items off, which helps me a lot because I think the only other knockoff user I have is Skuntank. So this definitely opens up a lot for me. And again, like I said, it learns Toxic as well. Thunderwave, a lot of good utility, and I really am excited to have this on the team. So next up, second to last mon, Mega Manectric. We can draft megas in this league. I chose to go Mega Manectric here because I really just wanted a fast pivoting electric type. Just the kind of, if I needed it to lead out, it could do that. If I needed to take down bulky water types that Gouging Fire can't necessarily break, especially if I'm using Gouging Fire outside of the sun, I think Mega Manectric is perfect. Offers a great ability in Intimidate once it megas, being able to lower folks' attack, making guys like Celesteela, Gouging Fire, Torkoal, Skuntank, Quagsire, and forgive me saying a lot, but it makes them a lot better because now it's lowering folks' attack and they can't hit me as hard. And that, trust me, that goes a long way. Keeping my mons healthy and making sure they're not taking the minimum amount of damage. Love it. Great ability before. No, I won't say great abilities before. It only has Lightning Rod, which is the only thing I'm going to use. So kind of gives me an immunity to electric types. Move pool isn't that great. However, two of its best coverage moves in Flamethrower and Overheat obviously get massively boosted in the sun. So being able to boost those moves kind of makes me feel a little bit better about Mega Manectric, but I do feel like it's a rather underwhelming pick. Could I have gone a different Mega? Yes. And honestly, if I'm being real, these last 3 to 4 Mons on my team, I'm kind of debating about trading them in the near future. Well, not near future, but in the future. But we're going to see how things go first. The trade deadline is at week 5, so I will see how this goes. If things don't work out, of course, or if I feel like I'm not getting enough value out of the Mons in the back, then I will definitely trade them for something better, because I don't want my team to be too top heavy where just like I know like only 7 to 9 Mons are going to come every week and then the other guys are just kind of left behind. So we're going to keep our options open. The more I look at the team, the more I think about my matchups in the future. I feel like I will be okay, but I'm just saying Mega Manectric and Ninjask kind of do feel underwhelming. And you go ahead and dive into Ninjask now that we are here. Last thing, I kind of had at this point, I was just down to like 2 points. I didn't know what I really wanted, but I noticed that I needed another pivot to fast pivot to kind of work with Mega Manectric and be able to use Volt Turn abilities and just kind of annoy folks with that. Ninjas does get U-turn, and also gives me another revenge killer, and that's kind of what I really was aiming for with these two. Another revenge killer, a speedy revenge killer, and another way of pivoting around. No need to further explain. Ninja's ability is speed boost. However, as I can see, it does run infiltrators, so the effects of substitute, reflect light screen, all that crap are ignored. Now, I don't know if I'll ever run that, but there could be a lot of good instances where I could, because Ninja speed is so high already. Like, this makes Ninjask is my fastest mon on this team. Of course, without Sun, but I mean, it gets speed boost, so it either way it goes, Ninjask, if it's brought in a match, is going to be the fastest mon on the field most days. So I mean, unfortunately, we can't run baton pass in this league. We can't pass stats. However, I do plan on using this to the best of its abilities. Also, I didn't mention, this is another one of my Terra Captains, and I do believe, who was my last Terra Captain? I know it's Quagsire. I know it's Ninjask. I don't remember who the other one is, honestly. I really don't. And I don't want to like leave the page and go to the page where it's at. But either way, it doesn't really matter. I think it's Porygon. Yeah, it's Porygon. So I'm sorry. My Terra Captains are Quagsire, Porygon, and Ninja. So 2 defensive Terras, Terra Captains, 1 slightly offensive one, a little bit more support, honestly, but offensive, because with Speed Boost, now this doesn't get Terra Blast, but with Speed Boost and Terra, honestly, Ninjas could surprise some folks. I'm just saying, don't count it out. It can definitely still, it's very, very small move pool. Like, look at this. I'm literally just scrolling and like it's already done. That's the moveset, y'all. Like, but that's gonna be the roster. Like I said, if y'all have any name options for the last 3 months, do let me know. And I hope you guys enjoy this. This is gonna be something new for me. I hope, like I said, this is gonna be like my start to getting into YouTube more, and I'm trying to do this more. And just really, really dive into it. And as you can see, this is, like I said, this is being recorded from my phone. I'm not doing any editing, none of that crap. You're getting the 100% real me. And if you like 100% realness, go ahead and leave a like and go ahead and subscribe. I am going to share this to folks in our league's plug chat. So by all means, if this is the content that you not necessarily crave, but if you crave realism, if you crave somebody who's just you like somebody who's going to build it up from the bottom and make his way to the top, come along with me for the ride. Subscribe to the channel. It'll be very much appreciated. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. I will be posting the week 1 battle it probably won't be posted tomorrow, but I will be recording it for tomorrow. The battle's supposed to take place, I don't know what time, but that's for me to worry about. Y'all to find out. I will try to upload these weekly battles on Sunday. Even though I know it's the holy day, but I'll try to figure out where I'm gonna do with that, either Saturday or Sunday. I know it's gonna be posted on the weekend, but the next video y'all will see from me, it will be the week 1 battle as well as the team builder. And yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me throughout this whole video. And of course, without further ado, I am out of here. Y'all take it easy. Have a blessed day, rest of your week, and bye.